The weird thing about this election cycle is that positionally, Trump is the most moderate candidate in Republican history.
Most of the guys on the block are wanting President Trump. I mean, there's a couple that's talked about Kamala Harris.
You know, I'm still part of the community, even though I'm behind these walls.
Angela Smith has been at this facility for almost a year, serving time for a misdemeanor DUI. A registered Republican for more than 20 years, she's planning to vote for Trump.
I just feel that they pulled up a lot of stuff on him that they could pull that up on anybody if they wanted to. I can relate to him. I can relate to what he's going through.
Yes, I believe you've seen that MMBC was shocked that even in this location, everybody in the block is voting for Trump. That notwithstanding, there is something more concerning. These Hollywood people are now sending out threat. I don't get it. Before we even go into that clip, Bima had an interview with Ben Shapiro and he said something very ridiculous. Like, if Trump wins...
The weird thing about this election cycle is that positionally, Trump is the most moderate candidate in Republican history, right? He took abortion basically out of the platform, right? I mean, like at the RNC, he basically sidelined abortion, which is a huge issue, obviously, for the pro-life community. That's a big part of the Republican Party.
He appointed the judges who got rid of it.
That's true. I mean, they got rid of Roe, but the point is that his position has been that he will veto, for example, a national abortion ban. No other Republican could have gotten away with that.
Correct.
Right? When it comes to things like, when it comes to same-sex marriage, that's completely out of the platform because of Trump, right?
That's the great part of being a cult leader, is that no, seriously, is that when it's about personality, and this is true, and it's funny you bring up Hitler. It's like he's the one talking about Hitler now. I think it's hysterical that for years now, you guys don't seem to care at all that the only human who he has ever not shit on is Putin. Like everybody else gets it. Friends, enemies, people back in the fold, everybody gets shit on and a couple of other dictators he likes. But now he's sort of like thrown that mask away and just like, I like all these people who are Hitlerian. Well, let's just say I like Hitler too.
Well, I mean,
it's kind of funny.
Well, here's the thing about the whole Hitler thing. So, as somebody who has a bit of a dog in the Hitler fight, right?
I was going to say.
Like the funny hat, says something about it.
Yeah.
As somebody who actually cares about this sort of thing, I was with Trump like 2 weeks ago.
Yes, just a few days ago, I was watching the same guy, Bimaha, where he was condemning the mainstream media about this issue of Hitler, but on this segment, he's changing his tone. I don't know if he realized that he was going off on CNN, MMBC, like all this strategy, calling Trump, all this, every single, the different kind of names, it is not working. They should stop it. Here, he's repeating the same thing. There was one thing that I noticed during that segment.
What life would be like if they were actually to restore his attempt at dictatorship and authoritarianism?
Yeah, you yourself might be in trouble. I mean, you...
Don't tell my wife that.
I'm sure she knows. I mean, because you were the lead impeachment manager.
You can see the panic. He knows what he did. You will clearly understand why these people don't want Trump to win. They are panicking because they are guilty of something they did, and they are afraid that Trump might bounce back on them. That is what I realized with all these people.
As somebody who has a bit of a dog in the Hitler fight, right?
I was going to say.
Like the funny hat, says something about it.
Yeah.
As somebody who actually cares about this sort of thing, I was with Trump like 2 weeks ago at the grave of the Lubavitcher Rebbe with a hostage family, where one of the kids is being held right now in captivity by Hamas, American kid.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something Hitler didn't do. That.
Right.
So for all of the jibber jabber about, the stuff he says, the thing I've always said about Trump is that on his gravestone, it's going to be written 45th, maybe 47th president of the United States. He said a lot of shit. And that's true. He does say an enormous amount of shit. And the way that I look at Trump is, and then what does he actually do? And I've noticed many of the people who are calling him Hitlerian seem to be perfectly okay with the pro-Hamas protesters on campus or with slow walking aid to Israel in the middle of a war with actual people who agree with actual Hitler. I mean, in Gaza, they used to have like an actual store called Hitler 2. That was like an actual shop. It was a clothing shop in the Gaza Strip. It was reported on by the Jerusalem Post in 2015. And I'm more concerned about that, frankly.
Nazi uniforms were sharp. There's just no way around it.
Listen,
It's just no Hugo Boss,
did-
but he tried. You know, Hillary, lock her up. Yeah, he tried. He tried to
didn't.
get Sessions to do that.
not really.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
And he certainly tried to not honor the election. And as I said from the beginning, didn't concede. He tried everything. He did not have in place enough lackeys and stooges to pull it off the first time. That may not be the case the second time. That's my worry about Trump. The whistling past the graveyard of, he says a lot of things about the enemies within and all these words and phrases that we heard from places where they did conduct pogroms about people. That's exactly what they said in Rwanda.
Okay. I mean, I think that if you're believing that Donald Trump is a figure who's about to massacre the Houthis,
I don't.
Hutus or the Tutsis, I
No,
mean,
but
like,
if they were here, he would.
I
The
highly.
Houthis, they're eating the pet. The Houthis, the Haitians ate all the dogs and the cats. The Houthis go for the hamsters.
Deep down, Bima knows that Trump cannot do this. He knows that. But because of the elections approaching, and Democrats always like to push a certain agenda, especially if you are running against them, they will go in unison, play the same card set. That is what I observe. It's like they have a script. Oh, Trump now say enemy within. Oh, Trump now want to take away the lives of Liz Cheney. Oh, Trump is Hitler. Oh, Trump is organizing this at Madison Square. So from one after another, if you were taking note of what these people do, calling Trump names from this to, they are even short of names. Like, that is what I observe. Ben Shapiro is just laughing because Bimaha will continue to do this.
I keep asking people, like, what's the practical path for Trump to do this? I've actually said to people, if you actually want Trump not to deny the next election, then probably he should win, because he ain't sticking around for a third term. All he wants is to win. Once he wins, he frankly, I mean, really?
Again.
Like on a practical level.
Yes, I hardly agree with Bimaha. I react to his videos often, but there is something I want to appreciate. The fact that he's bringing people from different political parties, having these honest conversations. I appreciate it. Now, on this video, he said something like, if Trump wins, he will never step down. I don't know why this Libra continue to spread this. It is crazy. I don't know if they are panicking or what exactly. I have seen this on CNN, MSNBC, spewing the same kind of lies. Oh, Trump will put down his enemy. Some said, oh, maybe you are a victim. You'll be part of it. So I see this every single day.
It gave me a chance to tie the Republicans running in these seats, the incumbents, closer to Donald Trump, and remind everybody, if you're voting for these Republicans in New York, you are voting for someone who supports Donald Trump, and you're anti-woman, you're anti-abortion, and basically you're anti-American, because you have just trashed American values and what our country is all about over and over and over.
Country is crazy. So voting a Republican, you're anti-America. When I look at this lady, I'm always short of words.
I woke up today to the headline that Trump had called for a firing squad for Liz Cheney. And this is what I really don't like about the media. No, he didn't. He did not. You don't have to move me to not like Donald Trump.
Tulsi Gabbard put out a video about it and aligned with Trump. I don't know if you've seen it. According to this tweet, Dick and Liz Cheney, as Trump correctly stated, always eager to waste the precious lives of our brave soldiers in stupid military adventures, but too cowardly to put themselves in a position where the enemy's guns are pointed at them.
Right when he said that Dick and Liz Cheney are always eager to go and waste the precious lives of our brave men and women in uniform, sending them off to go fight in stupid military adventures, and yet they themselves are too cowardly to put themselves in a position where the enemy's guns are pointed at them, with their lives at risk. So instead, they sit and hide in their ivory towers, without hesitation, sending others into harm's way. So President Trump speaking this truth is not a threat to anyone. It's the truth that voters need to know before this election is over.
If you wanted to criticize this man, there's plenty. You do not have to make things up to criticize Donald Trump. And I think some of it, frankly, was spun up to distract from a terrible jobs report, if you want my honest opinion.
Yes, I decided to do this video to clarify people because a lot of people never understood what exactly was even going on.
I don't even recognize what's happened to the Democratic Party anymore, to be honest.
He's saying quite explicitly and unambiguously that Liz Cheney should be shot, should be executed by firing squad. Don't think so.
News breaking in the last hour. Violent rhetoric directed at former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney by Donald Trump is now being investigated by Arizona law enforcement.
That was just a normal conversation. Even if you are not intelligent, you will understand that that is what he said.
Know that the presidential election is just days away. Personally, I need this to be over already. It's like my first wedding night, okay?
They've now been reduced now to be saying, well, you can't really take everything he says literally or seriously.
It gets so crazy every single time. You know, when elections are like this, people using all possibility to always mislead people, speak the truth.
Donald Trump, but she also got a bit of a hiccup from Joe Biden.
Have called out Trump over it.
Candidates very clearly pushing to win.
He brought up more garbage.
I don't know why these women are still on air.
Dan, I love you. You're so wrong. As they want to be.
So they now wear the two candidates to see who will favor them.
Biden. This is the President of the United States.
Now, I never noticed before and make me go, whoa.
You know, throw a birthday.
If you are over 18, please register to vote.
What he does at age.
I'm not voting for Donald Trump because I think he's a perfect person.